Hello class, today we're going to continue on with the bouncing ball and we're going to turn into we're going to add some pictures for background and for the player to our handball game. So I found a picture of a handball court on the internet and I just cropped it to the size of the drawing area. So it's 400 pixels high by 600 pixels wide. And I found a picture of a hand that I'll use for the paddle. Now you may wish to edit this as a PNG file and remove the white background so that you won't have that big block, that big white block on the game when it plays. I just don't have that software, so I can't do that. So I'll just leave this as it is. So I'll just show you what it looks like now when I incorporate this code. So we've got it that we can display the background and we can actually detect the ball when it hits the paddle and reflect it back. And we can count misses and hits. And you just can't see that because I haven't put it on yet. But this is counting every time it misses and every time we catch the ball. So let's look at the code. So it's all the code is done in the drawing area panel. And we have to add a few new libraries. We added the image library for rendering the images. We added the toolkit library, which you saw in the introduction to Java graphics tutorial. And we added just the image in the toolkit, yes. And then I added two global images. I added one image type variable for the background and one image type variable for the hand, for the paddle picture. Now I removed the paddle width variable because we don't need that anymore because we're using an image instead of a rectangle. And I kept the image height of the paddle to be 100 pixels, so I'm leaving that alone. But I moved the player X position a bit further to the left because the picture is a little wider. Otherwise, it was drawn off the screen. And then I've got two variables to score. I've got two running score count variables for hits and misses, and I set them to 0 to start the game. So then everything else is done inside the drawing area. Or sorry, we start off with the component or with the constructor. So here is where I attach each image to the respective image variable. So I take the handball background image and I attach it to the background variable. And I take the hand image for the paddle and I attach that to the hand variable. And then we'll go down to the paint component. And this is where everything happens. So first thing we do is we draw the background and then we draw the hand image, because if you remember from the very first tutorial in graphics draw from the back forwards. So I want the image, the background to be in the back. I want the hand to be on top of that. And then I want the ball to be on top of the background as well. So I do that order. Now the big part here is for figuring out whether I've got a hit or a miss. So the way I do that is I ask, is my ball X coordinate plus the ball diameter, is it greater than the player X coordinate? And is my ball Y value bigger than the player Y value? So is it past the top of the paddle? And is the ball Y plus the ball diameter less than the player Y plus the paddle height? So that means, is it above the bottom of the paddle? If that's true, we have a hit. So we add 1 to our hit counter, and we reverse the X direction multiplier so that it will bounce back. Else, if the ball X is bigger than the player X, it means we've passed the paddle, so that's a miss. So we add 1 to the misses counter, and then we have to reset the ball's location, so we'll start a fresh ball. So I set my ball X command to -20. Basically, it's just the negative ball diameter, so it's off the screen, and the ball Y is -20, it's off the screen. So you can imagine that to be just up and to the left of 0, 0, the very top left corner of the panel. And then I set my X and Y directionals to -1 so that when I come down to calculating, it will show up on the screen and start flowing again. And that's pretty much all we have to do to add collision detection to our game. So now when I hit play, the ball starts bouncing. And when I hit it, it reflects back. So if I up my speeds, now it's going to be harder to play because it's going that much faster. Okay, thank you very much.